So we have talked about the mental symptoms, but I am again repeating about this. Very much depressed, very much sad, very much suicidal, very much melancholic, suicidal thoughts are there. They usually constantly dwells about the thoughts or omnat himself and so on. They are anxious, full of fear, worries, melancholic, even evil forebodings. Driven despair to excessively itching. इन लोगों का मन में हमेशा डिजायर है फॉर एक्सेसिव इचिंग, वेरी एग्रीवेबल डिसएग्रीवेबल मूड, वेरी इम्पेशेंट, extremely ill and humored, very irritable, peevish and passionate, very sentimental, desperate to recovery, thinks he will die. So the patient always thinks about the he will die, so there becomes very restless and depressed. There is great depression and of the mind during the climatic period, and his ideas are very sad and joyless. A child plays all the day, but aggravation at night, troublesome at night. If we see the physical general of the symptoms, physical generals, then relation with the heat and cold, extremely chilly patient, hypersulfur and silence are there. Once one thinks, even in hot weather, hot summer weather, once, and one clothings, even in hot summer weather. Aversion to cook food, colchicum, drosera, pulsatilla is there, arsenic, sepia, aversion to cooked food. Even to food of the hunger, aversion to food with the hunger, cocculus, Lactamur and maximonica, warm food for can tobacco, desires alcoholic drinks, desire for alcoholic drinks, arsenic album, arsaram, lacacies, maximum, and so on. Beer, desire for beer and the cold drinks, sour acids, sweat, 6 p.m., 3 a.m., sweat, 6 p.m. and 3 a.m. Calculate open air, sweating, grimy perspiration, calculate China, graphitis, lycopodium, lactam, nitric acid, phosphorus, during slight exertion are there, hot sweat, aconite, napella, chamomilla, ignatia, maxmanca, opium, sepia. Aggravation on motion is there. Aggravation on motion, very offensive odor on single parts, separation of complaints from perspiration, and so on. Profuse perspiration after acute disease will relieve all sufferings. Profuse perspiration after acute disease will relieve all sufferings. Lactam is also there. This is very important for the case of the any patient. If there is excessive sweating and with after disease condition, it indicates it relieves the condition, natrium and Psorinum. Sleepless all the midnight, all sleeplessness after midnight, and sleepy in the day, sleepless after midnight, and sleep in the day. Sick body does not sleep the whole night, Dreams, amorous dreams, anxious of robbers are there, dreams of amorous, anxious and robbers, and natamuri also there. Dreams of robbers, natamuri. Amorous means that he means the amorous, lascivious dreams. Appetite, diminished appetite after typhoid, thirst, great thirst during convulsions, thirst during dinner, with dryness of the throat, especially for beer, mouth feels dry. General modalities: aggravation from change of weather, excessive heat of the sun, from cold and from draft of cold air. Excessive heat of the sun, from draft of cold, from change in weather, heat of sun, and so on. Emulsion from warm clothing, sweating, and lying down. If we see the guiding symptoms of the drugs, so the physical journal is also very important. Then comes to the guiding symptoms of the drugs are also very important. So if the guiding symptoms are seen in chronic conditions, cases when the well-selected remedy fails to give the relief or permanently improve. In chronic case, when well-selected remedy fails and when difficult to cure the case, we can think of the Psorinum. And permanently improve in acute disease with sulfur, but when sulfur seems indicated but fails to act, we can think of the Psorinum. When sulfur seems to be indicated but fails to act, we can think of the Psorinum. Body has a filthy smell. Body has a filthy smell even after bathing. This is very important symptoms of the drugs. And there the offensiveness is very important. Even after bathing, there is a filthy smell. The whole body is painful, easily sprained and injured. Whole body very painful, easily sprained and injured. The stormy weather is there. There is the stormy weather, okay, and aggravation. He feels actually restless for days before during thunderstorm. So before thunderstorm, if there is a stormy weather, we can think of these drugs. And phosphorus is the remedy. Next number, dry scaly eruptions disappear in summer, returns in every winter, and cold weather mostly. Usually we'll think that the dry scaly eruptions disappear in the summer and return in winter. They feels unusual oil before the attack, day before attack, feels unusually well. Day before attack is another characteristic symptoms of the drugs. Third number, extremely sorry patients. The patient are extremely sorry, very nervous, restless, easily startled. Next number is all extremities, all excretions, diarrhea, leukorrhea, menses, perspiration has carrion-like odor is there. Headache, pressures by flickering before eyes. Flickering होते, so there is a light जैसे चमकते like this. Dimness of the vision, a blindness, lachesis, calibicomicum, and lag defloretum by the black spot or the rings. Headache, always hungry. During ammunition, headache, always hungry. Ammunition by eating, and so anacardium is also one of them, and caliphos is also one of them, eating always, and ammunition by eating. Anacardium and caliphos. Even iodium is also there, Psorinum is also there. So from suppressed eruption or from suppressed ammunition by nosebleed is the millefolium. The hair is very dry, lustreless, hair is dry, lustreless, tangles each, hair is dry, lustreless, tangles each, glues together like a Plica polonica is another characteristic symptoms of the drugs. Bicarb, Baratakab, Sarsaparilla, Tuberculinum, even the Staphysagira, these are the remedy. Next, if we see the intense scalp, dry, scaly, moist, fetid, separating eruptions, oozing of the sticky, offensive fluid, graphitis and mesodermy also there, dry, scaly eruptions, moist and fetid, separating eruptions, oozing or sticky discharges, even offensive fluid, graphitis and mesodermy is there. Intense photophobia is there with inflamed lids, cannot open the eyes, lies with face buried in the pillow, lies in face, cannot open the eyes, lies with face buried in pillow. Ears, humid, scurfy, and soreness on and behind the ears, oozing of offensive viscid fluid, is there, graphitis. Oturia, thin ischurus, horrible fatty discharge. Like that decayed meat, chronic after measles, otorium or scarlatina is there. Acne all forms, simplex, rosacea during menses. So if there is an acne, rosacea, all forms, simplex, during menses, acne from coffee, fat, sugar, meat, when the best selected remedy fails or only palliates. From coffee, fat, sugar, meat, when the best selected remedy fails or only palliates. So acne only palliates. Eructations, testing of rotonix, eructation, testing of rotonix, Arnica montana, antintert, and graphitis. Hungry in the middle of the night, must have something to eat, Sina and sulfur. Quincy, tonsils great, swollen, difficult, greatly swollen, difficult, painful swearing, burns, feel scalded, tonsils are burns, feel scalded, and cutting, tearing pain, intense pain, 2 years to swallowing, painless, barytica, and profuse offensive saliva, tough mucus in the throat, and must hop continuously. Does not only emulsion, acute attack, but eradicate the tendencies. Does not only emulsion the attack, but eradicate the tendencies. Hawks up cheesy balls on the size of a pea, of disgusting taste and carrion like odor, calimure. So usually whenever the patient hawks, disgusting, like size of a pea, offensive, and taste is carrion like odor, calimure. Diarrhea, there is suddenly diarrhea, imperative, aloes and sulfur, stool watery, dark brown, fetid, smells like carrion, watery and involuntary, aggravation at night and from 1 to 4 a.m. like after severe acute disease, teething in children when weather changes. Constipation, obstinate constipation with backache and from inactivity of the rectum, obstinate constipation, from with backache, from inactivity of the rectum when sulfur fails to relieve the symptoms. So, constipation obstinate with backache, inactivity of the rectum when sulfur fails and is relieved. Enuresis from vesical paresis at full noon. Obstinate cases with a family history of the eczema. So, in case of the enuresis, there is from vesical paresis at full moon. Obstinate cases with a family history of the eczema is there. Chronic gonorrhea of years duration that can neither be suppressed nor cured, best selected remedy fails. In case of chronic gonorrhea chronic of years durations, chronic gonorrhea with years duration that can neither be suppressed nor cured, but best selected remedy fails. Then we can think of the Psorinum. And during pregnancy, most obstinate vomiting is there. Pregnancy obstinate vomiting, the fetus moves violently. When the best selected remedy fails, we can think of the drugs and correct in the sodic diathesis of the inborn feces. So during pregnancy, most obstinate vomiting, pregnancy obstinate vomiting, fetus moves too violently, and when the best selected remedy fails to relieve, to correct the sodic diathesis of the unborn, asthma, dyspnea, aggravation in open air on lifting up. Asthma, dyspnea, aggravation in open air on lifting up, lorosis, lying down and keeping the arms stretched for effort, and so on. So, asthma, dyspnea, aggravation in open air on lifting up, lying down and keeping the arms stretched for effort. Reverse of arsenic album, despondent, thinks that he will die. So violently asthmatic condition is there. Cough returns every winter. Cough returns every winter. Hay fever is there. In case of the hay fever, suppurative regularly. Every year, the same day in the month, with an asthmatic, sodic or eczematous history. So hay fever appearing regularly every year, the same day or the month, with an very lying down sputum, eczematous history, and so on. Cough after suppressed itch. Cough after suppressed itch or eczema, chronic of years duration, aggravation in the morning, on waking, evening, on lying down. Cough aggravation in morning, on waking, evening, on lying down. Phosphorus tuberculinum, sputum is greenish, yellow or salty mucus, and greenish yellow and salty mucus is there. Pass like sputum. Coughs a long time before expectoration. Coughs pass like a long time before expectoration. Skin abnormal tendency to receive the skin disease. Sulfur abnormal tendency to receive the skin disease. Sulfur eruptions easily separate. Eruption easily separate hypersulfur. Dry, inactive, rarely sweat. Dry skin disease with rarely sweats, even as if, and dirty look as if never washed. Dirty look as if never washed. Coarse, greasy as if bathed in oil. bad effects from suppression by sulfur, and G, and when in case of the skin disease. So we must think about it. The general symptoms of the guiding symptoms of the drugs is very important in this cases. In chronic case, when well selected, just listen. In chronic case, when well selected remedy fails and gives relief or permanently improve. In acute disease, sulfur, when sulfur seems indicated but fails to act, body has a filthy smell even after bathing, the whole body is painful, easily sprained and injured, whole body is sprained, painful, easily sprained and injured, stormy weather, he feels acutely restless for days before and during a thunderstorm, first term, dry scaly eruptions, disappear in summer and returns in winter, feels unusually well day before the attack, extremely stoic patient, nervous, restless, easily startled. Extremely stoic patient, they are very nervous, restless, and easily startled. All excretion, diseases, diarrhea, leukorrhea, menses, perspiration have carrion-like odor. Headache, periodical by flickering before the eyes, dimness of the vision and or blindness, lack diphtherium, cardiovascular by black spot or ring or rings is there. Headache, always hungry during ammunition while eating. Headache, always hungry during ammunition while eating. Anacardium or caliphos from suppressed eruption, headache from suppressed eruption or suppressed menses, ammunition by nosebleed. So headache from suppressed menses, ammunition by nosebleed is there. Hair is dark, hair is dry, lustreless, tangles easily and glues together. Lygodium, Plica polonica, Barytica, Sarsaparilla, tuberculina is there. Psorinum, scalp dry, scaly and moist fatty discharges, separating eruptions, oozing of the sticky, offensive fluid. Graphitis and mesothelium is there. Intense photophobia with inflamed lids, intense photophobia with inflamed lids, cannot open the eyes, lies with face buried into pillow. So intense photophobia. There is photophobia with inflamed lids, cannot open the eyes, lies with face buried in the pillow. Ears humid, scurvy and soreness on and behind the ear. The humid, the soreness, coughs, moisture oozing from the discharges behind the ear and offensive discharges, viscid fluid, graphitis is there, otorrhea, thin, ischias, horribly fatty discharge, even like the decayed meat, any discharge, decayed meat, chronic, after meals or scarlatina. Acne, all forms of acne, simplex, rosacea, during menses, from coffea, fat, sugar meat, when the best selected remedy fails, or only palliates, when the best selected remedy fails, and only palliates, we can check on the Psorinum. Eructations, even eructation testing of rotonics, arnica montana is there, antimutant and graphitis is there, hungry in the middle of the night, must have something to eat, cyanide, sulfur, quinsy, tonsils greatly swollen, difficult, painful swelling, burns, feel scalded, cutting, tearing pains, intense pain in ears to swallowing, illness, Barytica, refuse offensive saliva, tough mucus in throat, must have constantly, continuously, does not only ameliorate acute attack, but eradicate the tendency, eradicate the tendency, hawks up cheesy balls of the size of a pea, of disgusting taste and carrion-like odor, calimure. Diarrhea, certain imperative diarrhea, halogen sulfur, stools watery, dark brown, fetid smells like the carrion, involuntary aggravation at night, 1 to 4 am, 1 to 4 am, after severe acute disease, teething in children when weather changes, constipation, obstinate constipation with backache, from inactivity of the rectum when sulfur fails to relieve enuresis, from vesical paresis, all full moon, obstinate cases with a family history of eczema, chronic gonorrhea of years together, duration that can neither be suppressed nor cured, best selected immunodefense, leukorrhea, large clotted lumps of an intolerable odor, pains in sacrum, debility during climaxes, during pregnancy, most obstinate vomiting, fetus moves too violently when the best remedy fails to relieve, to correct the sodic diathesis of the unborn. Asthma, dyspnea, aggravation in the open air, on lifting up, lorosiosus, lying down and keeping arms stretched far apart. The asthma, the patient has to be keeping the hands in far apart, and reverse of the arsenical mum. There they been despondent, thinks that he will die. The coughs return every winter. The hay fever appearing regularly every year, the same day of the same month, with an asthmatic sodic, our eczematous history, cough after suppressed itch or eczema or chronic of years duration, cough of chronic years of duration, aggravation in the morning and walking, evening, lying down, cough of evening and lying down, phosphorus and tuberculin, sputa is greenish yellow or salty mucus, pus-like, and coughs a long time before expectoration. Skin abnormal tendencies to receive the skin disease, sulfur, eruptions easily, suppurate hypersulfur, dry, inactivity, rarely sweats, dirty look as if never washed, coarse, greasy, as if bathed in oil, bad effects from suppression by sulfur and zincum metallicum, zinc ointments. So we can think sulfur in these conditions, in these very crucial conditions. Another thing is that if there is headache, patient will have chronic headache resulting from the change of weather, even headache with marked periodicity is whether every 2 or 3 days interval headache, every 2 or 3 days interval headache. Congestion of head is always marked. The complaint is worse from cold air in winter, better by eating, covering the head, sweating. Headache is associated with hunger, and he must get up at night to eat something. GI disorders, patient complains of diarrhea due to suppression of skin eruptions. Patient complains of diarrhea due to suppression of skin eruptions. And after severe acute disease, dentition in children usually between 1 to 4 am. Dentitional diarrhea usually between 1 to 4 am. Stools is watery, profuse, dark brown, smells like the carrion. Stools is watery, profuse, dark brown, smells like carrion. In case of infant's mother, she complains of obstinate type of constipation due to weakness of rectum mainly. The stool is very hard. The stool is very hard and difficult to pass and is associated with the backache. As with the backache, the patient feels hungry in the middle of the night, and due to the ravenous appetite, but there is pain in the abdomen. There is pain in the abdomen after eating. Associated with irritations, tasting like the rotten eggs. Respiratory troubles comes with the chronic tonsillitis and quinsy, especially when the tonsils are greatly swollen, resulting in difficulty and painful swelling. Associated with the burning and scalding sensation in the throat. Also, there is accumulation of profuse and offensive saliva, better by dark mucus in the throat. Throat complaints are aggravated from the cold air. Throat complaints aggravated by the cold air, cold food, cold drinks, better by warmth application and covering. In case of asthma, due to separation of skin, eruptions, there is great dyspnea on least exertion associated with the cough and weakness in the chest. Asthmatic attack is worse from sitting up. Asthmatic attack is worse from the sitting up in open air, better by lying down and keeping the arms spread wide apart. This is very important symptoms of the drugs. The patient skin affections. Patient will have eczema due to the separation of the skin disease. The patient is unhealthy and look dirty even after washing. Even though there is offensive smell from their body. The eruptions may be dry, scaly or moist, which becomes thick and indurated. There will be severe itching of skin. There will be severe itching of skin, which compels the patient to scratch until the part becomes raw. Also, this drug is indicated in cases of itching without eruption resulting from warmth of bed. In cases of itching without eruptions resulting from warmth of bed, the patient with eczema of scalp, behind the ears, face, there is oozing of watery, fatty discharge. The complaints are worse from warmth of bed, covering, open air relieved by sweating. Complaints are warmth of bed and open air relieved by sweating. Psorinum baby. The baby is very much delicate, pale and highly chilly. Having sorry constitutions. Baby wants covering all the time. The child plays all day and cries all night. Psorinum sina. There is ravenous appetite. The child is hungry all the time, especially in the middle of the night. Must have something to eat. The body has a filthy smell, even after washing, and all the excretions of the body have a carrion-like odor. Body has a filthy smell after washing, and all the excretion of the body have a carrion-like odor. Comparisons: sick baby, frets day and night, jalapa, frets day and night, jalapa. Good all day, screams all night. Good all day, but screams all night. So opposite to lycopodium. Effects of thunderstorm, phosphorus, headache preceded by dim visions, headache present black and calibi, headache with hunger while eating, anacardium califos is there, plica polonica, barytica, lycopodium, Salsifila, Bacillinum is there. Offensive, cheesy concentration from throat, calimure, ammunition by the sweat ammunition, calimure, calarium and natamure, calarium and natamure, sweating, calarium natamure, ammunition lying down and keeping arms, ammunition lying down and keeping arms for arsenical bomb, opposite to the Psorinum. Arsenical bomb चेहरे पे हाथ में रखते हैं, चेस्ट में रखते हैं. अच्छा, morning aggravation, walking and evening, phosphorus veritable, morning on waking in evening, eruptions easily suppurate hypersulfur, drinking aggravates digitalis, teeth stick together, tuberculinum, pediculosis, Podophyllum, Bacillinum, Natamur, pediculosis, or the and greasy fish, Laurosclerotia, Psorinum, earthy, greasy fish, erratic pains, aggravation evening, pulsatilla, tongue as a burnt sanguinaria, as if parts are separated, baptisia, arsenical bomb, Annica montana, convulsions, profuse sweat, convulsions, calicub, despair of recovery, China, Laurosclerosis, capsicum, opium and valerian. Despair of recovery, China, Laurosclerosis, capsicum and opium and valeriana. Lack of reactions, opium, Laurosclerosis, carbovage, hay fever, gelsemium and caliode, hunger at night, China sulf, phosphorus, sulfur, ignitia and lyco, axillary affections, juglans depends and elapse, axillary affections, juglans, rians and elapse, explosion of the air, phosphorus, inimical to lachesis, compatible to carbovage, China sulf, compatible to carbovage, China and sulfur, phallozoil, alumina, borax, hypersulfur, phallozoil, alumina, borax and hypersulfur, complementary sulfur and bacillinum, complementary to sulfur and bacillinum, antidoted by coffea is very important, So, if we can compare between these drugs, we'll find it. These are the very characteristic symptoms of the drugs and so on. But apart from this, we have to see the patient and we have to think over it. There are so many drugs are there which are in the Mathematica, but what will happen in case of the Psorinum? These are the very important characteristics. The previously I told the Psorinum, although it is antisodic, but also it is an antisyphilitic and antipsychotic. But majorly it covers the sodic. The therapeutic value, especially when the well selected remedies, then think of the Psorinum. Even if you see the clinical conditions and along with the diathesis and temperament and constitution, then you can prescribe the Psorinum. Most of the time you will find there is the abdominal disorder, especially in the Psorinum patient. Some diseases are very common Not only the skin disease, but the offensiveness is there, vomiting, pain, abdominal disorder, acne, asthma, cholera phantom, cough, constipation, debility, diarrhea, diphtheria, dyspepsia, ear troubles, eczema, enuresis, glandular affections, gonorrhea, gout, headache, influenza, itching, liver affection, polyphus, quinsy, skin affection, throat and lung affections, tonsillitis and ulcers. So these are the basic therapeutics. But apart from this, in any conditions, wherever it can be utilized, but the characteristics and symptomatic should be there, otherwise it has no value. Even there is I have seen so many cases. I am giving some examples about that Psorinum patient in my practice life. One patient was having the chronic dacrocystitis. In case of the chronic dacrocystitis, there are so many allopaths have prescribed their antibiotics, anti-inflammatory and other drugs. But what happened? This patient has no result at all. There is temporary relief of the patient and there is not so much expected result is there. What happened? One of my friend told, just go to me, advise him, and what I have found there, the patient, whenever I just give pressure, there is a huge pus is there, which is coming out from the ear lacrimal duct, and it was so severe that difficult to control it. And the patient was near about 7 to 8 years. The patient is in my contact till today. After 30 years of my living from Bengal, again when I came to Bengal, I used to go, they usually comes to me and take the medicine for his daughter. At the time the children was 7 to 8 years. Now after he is married, a girl child is there whose age is 13, near about 3 years back. Again he came for the same complaint. Whatever might be. But they came to me. The boy, 32 years back, when he has taken treatment by the allopaths, even 4 to 5 allopaths, they are providing the gentamicin, this and that and so and so. Whenever it was not at all cured, one of my friends sent him to me. Now at that time I was so much dynamic. Let me try my best level by the homeopathy. I took the total history. I found that this child was very much naughty and doing some mischievous things, moving, restless, going here and there. There is then foul, offensive smell from his body and the discharges. I asked about his father. He told that there is the pain, the patient cannot tolerate the cold in any form, but they prefers that to swim in the river or do some mischievous things and so on. Then what I'll do, I called him. Let me see the first prescription. So as because the patient cannot tolerate the food in any form, cannot hunger in any form, and there is excessive restlessness, changing is there, I had prescribed him the Psorinum. And what happened after I called him after 15 days, but he came just on that 14th day and told me, Dr. Sir, with the help of the only 3 doses of Psorinum, the patient was totally cured. I mean that 80% symptoms was diminished. I become surprised, but some satellite also given. I prescribed him Psorinum 200, then every alternate morning for 3 days, 3 doses for 6 days only. The patient was totally cured, and he came after 1 month. I given him the Kalisov side by side. After 1 month, when the patient came to me, it was totally, absolutely cured. There is no question of remaining of any signs, symptoms of the past or offensiveness. The children's mentality has been changed. There is extreme cleanliness, not I can say, but there is a changes in the cleanliness habit also there. Habit of taking food and drinks also there, changes. Even so many things has been observed, there is changes. And then before coming to Calcutta, Maharashtra, 1987, after 3 months of treatment, there is no residue is there. I told him, go to the allopath and show whether there is any part is remaining there or anything. They are become surprised. The children took treatment over 4 years, but there is no such result. But after coming to me of this complaint, when I prescribed Psorinum, it was totally cured. Later on, his daughter was also, after 30 years, his daughter came with her grandfather, and again the same problem. I become surprised how it is possible. This may be the hereditary tendencies, and I have to think over it. I took the case, and the girl I took the case near about half an hour and stay here for 1 hour in my room or in my home with his grandfather. Later, they came at my evening time. Later, when I prescribed the medicine, and there are drastic changes in his daughter also. I prescribed a Psorinum again after 32 years on the basis of the same problem, same history, family history, and so on. First 1 month there is no such result. I was in contact with them, but from the next 3rd month there are changes and they are cured the case. So what I mean to say, if you can prescribe tactfully, intellectually, correctly, on the basis of organon medicine and symptom similarity, you must get the result, and so on. So in this way, the symptoms was abolished, the clinical patient was cured, the family was happy by my treatment, and there is no further recurring of the symptoms till today. So see, after 30 years of his same repetition of that, and the patient was treated by some other allopaths, but there is no remedy, and there the same problem was there. And when they came to me, again I have sulfur. But I remember the name of the medicine, sulfur, which I prescribed, and it was cured. This is beauty of the homeopathy and Honeyman's grace. Okay, thank you. So whenever you choose a medicine on the symptomatically, on the basis of the, not only symptomatically, but on the miasmatically, the previous history, past history, family history, and some other causes, modalities, you may get the clue and calm and quietly prescribe. Definitely you will be achieve the goal. Okay, thank you. Bye. Psorinum is completed.